Hey everybody, it's BJ,
And Patrick.
and we're going to get right into the world of newspaper, or I guess they're not newspapers anymore, website news articles and things like
All
that.
these headlines.
All the headlines.
Yeah.
So the headline reads, how will the Bank of Canada rate cut impact the real estate market? So this is BNN Bloomberg, the report from, right? And we just had an interest rate drop. We talked about it already.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that, go back and take a look. We talk about the interest rate drop that just happened. And if you haven't, take a sec, subscribe to the video, the channel, and like the video. It helps us out because and make sure you don't miss anything because we are putting out a ton of content every week.
I'm getting better at shorts, so watch out.
Okay.
So there's going to be even more.
Here we go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get right to a couple of points in the article that we want to just talk about. This is a comment by Karen Yulevsky, who is the COO of Royal LePage, and she made the point that from their research, it indicates that buyers have been waiting for a concrete signal from the Bank of Canada that it's okay to move forward, and so they're saying that second rate cut would have given a real positive message to those people.
I think we've been saying that all year. Like, we have so many and other headlines ourselves where there is a lot of people on the sidelines. And of course, with the current state of interest rates,
Yeah.
for this beginning of since October, since the Bank of Canada froze the overnight rate or whatever
Yeah.
the going rate is.
Yeah,
That the buyer's sentiment isn't that exciting.
yeah.
So
So here's what she's saying is that they feel that the sideline buyers may now have, because of the second rate cut, may now have the confidence they need to return to their housing search.
right. A quarter point in interest rate really doesn't affect like a huge amount of the monthly payments. But I think buyers, even if you're a homeowner, you want to move up or move down, the last thing you want is to buy a home and then, next week, next month, it's going down in value. So it definitely brings some reassurance
Right.
to buyers out there.
Yeah.
That, look, if I'm going to buy something, it's not going to be worth less when you drive it off the lot. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as you move into it.
Yeah. So now I'm going to jump down in the article here. There's a mortgage broker with lowerrates.ca, and she's their expert on interest rates and what's going on and that kind of thing. And I'm just going to read the statement that they expect that the move from the Bank of Canada is not likely to move the housing market in a significant way. So here's what they're saying. We've seen a 50% basis drop. We know that since June, but rates are still comparatively high, and any potential buyers are waiting for further rate decreases to increase their buying power before they make a move. Now, here we go. However, she added that once borrowing costs are brought down to levels that most buyers are comfortable with, the housing market will heat up quickly and prices will move higher. As a result, she said potential buyers should consider buying now if they can afford the higher rates for a shorter period to enter the market while the prices are lower. Now, we've talked about that quite a bit, that if you can manage the rate and the way the numbers look for you with the current rate, now's the time to buy, because as the rates come down, the house prices will go up.
It's got that inverse relationship with prices.
Yeah. So, I agree with 100% with what she's saying here, is if you can make it work, now's the time to buy, because, we're going to see the bounce back in the pricing. So now here's the other part of it, talking about condos and the condo market. I had a good chuckle when I read this, because it sounds like it's all of Canada, and then you get to the punchline at the end, right? So here's how it reads. Talking about the housing market experiencing a slowdown. Interest in investment properties, now it's talking about condos now. Interest in investment properties has decreased the longer rates remain high. Properties are taking much longer than usual to move. The comments came following a significant slowdown in condominium sales in Canada's largest real estate market. So this is a
We
reference.
all know where that is.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a reference to Toronto. It's not necessarily indicative of the whole country that the condo market is, grinding to a halt. They make a point to say that last week, BNN Bloomberg reported that Toronto condo developers saw new unit sales fall to the lowest or slowest pace in 27 years.
It makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Toronto is a desirable place for people to move to for different reasons.
Yeah.
I know people might say bad things about Toronto, and I will too, probably. But the developers, investors have been heavily invested in Toronto in the condo market.
Yeah.
Bringing along this density, it's been encouraged. Yes, it's more expensive. It also those construction costs or development costs drive a huge portion of the city's budget. So we know the cities and municipalities are addicted to fees for new construction that are passed on to home buyers. I know they'll all want affordable housing, but they will increase taxes to build those things, or fees.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder that places like the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, is going to have a slowdown in pre-construction and current new construction, that has been already built. Toronto has the most amount of cranes of all major cities out there. Toronto tops the list with there's two different articles from this. So, and they're both of April of this year. Toronto has 221 cranes. Los Angeles, like LA, other than it being, I've been to LA, it's fun, it's great. It's the dirtiest place I've ever seen. Sorry, everybody from LA. They have 50 cranes. Seattle, 38. Calgary, 20 cranes. Denver, 14. Boston, 14. Washington, D.C., 13 or 12. Honolulu, 12. Vegas, 10. And on, right? San Francisco,
30.
8.
Wow.
So there's been a huge investment of supply in Toronto.
Yeah.
And a huge immigration, all of these things are happening where people have to go somewhere. Yeah. So it's no wonder with a little bit of an interest rate, we had 7 hikes all in a row in the last, year and a half, 2 years. And all of a sudden everything has slowed down. This isn't a mystery. Now we'll have some interest rate drops, and this will all pick back up again. Yeah. But it's really affected the new construction starts.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are we going to have when it takes, how many years does it take to get a condo development approved?
In Victoria?
Well,
10 years, $1 million.
The winners across Canada is Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria have the longest approval times for development properties. So if all of a sudden there's a shortage of condo development starts or approvals, this oversupply will be absorbed at one point.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in a shortage again.
It'll be back to the same thing.
So it'll be back to the same thing.
Yeah.
So you have to have, if you're thinking, pre-construction is a bad idea, you have to what? You're going to buy a rental property, the bank's probably going to want 30-35% down on it. So they don't want a high loan to value loan on there. They don't, the banks are going to protect themselves, and they want you to be able to cover the expenses there too. Even if it's negative cash flow, you're not going to qualify in your personal income if there's a shortage to even be able to buy this place.
And
so this is a long-term play.
Sure.
Even if you bought today or yesterday, pre-construction or brand new construction that doesn't cash flow, people are going to keep going to Toronto.
Yeah. I'm going to add one thing, and this is relevant for certainly Vancouver and Victoria, or any other market in BC, is now we have new rental regulations.
Oh, you mean with the purchasing?
Yeah, so if you're buying this property and you are, whoever your renter is going to be, there are different obligations that you have now in terms of notifications, how far ahead you have to give notice, how many months they're going to get free rent. All these things are still moving and being addressed by the government.
Yeah.
While some of them are done, some of them are in the process. But the point is, being a landlord has become more complicated in BC right now.
Certainly. Just because something is difficult, it shouldn't stop you from doing it.
No,
I think
but what I'm saying is you're going to weigh out the cost
Yeah.
of time, effort, money.
Are you willing to do this?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this a good investment for me to do now, or is there a better place for me to invest these resources where I can get a return without so much of my angst, involvement, etc., whatever you want to call it?
That's a really good way to put it. Looking at any investment, and there's all kinds of different real estate investments, and I think it won't stop serious real estate investors buying multifamily units or even singles.
Yeah, I think multifamily is a different deal.
It's bigger business.
Yeah.
Even if it was a single, it's more difficult to sell. But if your plan is not to sell, the chances of getting a bad tenant are probably not that great. I think most people are good tenants that pay on time.
Yeah.
They might land on hard times and have trouble paying rent.
Right.
But I think most people are good people and want to be responsible and pay their bills, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pros and cons to it all. But if real estate investing, I wouldn't use the new rules to dishearten people from investing in real estate. Oh yeah, you're a realtor, you want buy. No. You have to weigh out your options, like BJ was saying. What are the pros and cons? Does this still make sense for you? Yeah. And then proceed from there. If the environment is positive for you or negative.
Yeah. And I know some people who are doing that now, and some that have said, no, I don't want to do that anymore. And they're going to do something else with their investment dollars. And I know others that have said, no, it's fine. I'm good.
All my investors still want to keep looking, keep buying, keep accumulating.
Yeah.
They're not worried about selling. And again, with the capital, what is it called? Not the capital gains. The capital gains inclusion rate over 250,000 is not stopping any of my clients from proceeding to making more investments or building their businesses bigger.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Hope you got some good information out of that. Please take a minute and like and subscribe. It helps us out with getting the word out there. If you know anybody who you think needs to see what we're talking about, please let them know about it.
And of course, if you're thinking of buying or selling real estate in the Greater Victoria area or anywhere on Southern Vancouver Island, you can get a hold of us. Our information is in the description below, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
See ya.